Hey out there, this is Mitch from GameFront here, and today we're going to be trying something a little bit different for this video review. I'm going to be doing a dual video review with my new friend. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce... Bitch. Yo, what the fuck did you just call me? Bitch? You literally told me that was your name. The name your mother gave you. Yo, what the fuck did you say about my mom? I'm sorry, you told me your name was... Listen up, man. I'm just playing with you. Look at you getting all flustered and nervous. Alright, so what shitty game were we talking about? So, this is Infamous Second Son First Light. It's a standalone expansion for Infamous Second Son that puts players in the shoes of Abigail Fetch Walker, a character who, in my opinion, was criminally underused in Second Son. First Light is essentially a prequel that fleshes out Fetch's backstory, which was only touched upon in Second Son. Right, and by fleshes out, you mean completely retcons what was established in the prior game. I'm about to go into some spoiler territory here, so if you're actually still watching this video, skip ahead until you don't see the spoiler tag anymore. I'm a bitch, but people who spoil video games for others are fucking scumbags. So in Second Son, Fetch is described as being an ex-junkie who's on a warpath of revenge against drug dealers, because of the fact that her drug addiction caused her to kill her beloved brother in a paranoid rage after she thought he was trying to take her stash. She blamed all drug dealers for the death of her brother, and never wanted anyone else to have to go through the pain that she felt due to her addiction to drugs. But then First Light comes along and says, nope, fuck that, we can't turn that into a 6-hour story, and so they changed it. Now there's a singular drug dealer that Fetch focuses her rage on, and while the ultimate result of Fetch's backstory is still the same, the circumstances that lead up to it and its implications on Fetch's character are completely different. I mean, you're right, but I'm willing to give them a pass on this one because I don't think Sucker Punch intended to make First Light when they shipped Second Son. It was after they saw the response to Fetch's character and how much people enjoyed her story that they decided to make this expansion. Then they realized that Fetch's story, as presented in Second Son, isn't really suited for gameplay unless they made some changes. Right, you think that a developer didn't think to make post-content starring its best character, intended to squeeze extra dollars out of its die-hard fans. Well, whatever. It's poor planning regardless. Well, moving on from the story, the gameplay in First Light is definitely the highlight. Sucker Punch did a great job of making Fetch not only feel substantially different from Delsin, who also had neon powers, but also making Fetch feel like a master of her own powers. Nearly everything that Delsin does in Second Son with Neon, Fetch does better. She has unlimited super speed right from the start, she can utilize speed boosts strewn throughout the city to run at blisteringly fast speed, which makes getting around the city a blast. She also has a couple of new tricks like a new neon missile attack and a new super flashy singularity attack. It's alright. If you like the gameplay in Second Son, surprise surprise, you'll like it here too. What you won't like, unless somehow you like things that are incredibly tedious and boring, are the moments where you have to snipe a bunch of enemies with superpowered neon bolts, which are somehow bestowed upon you after touching this tiny little neon light. I mean, seriously. I drain all the energy from gigantic signs all the time, and the best I get is a recharge. But this one little tiny light on the rooftop, just a touch, and now I'm fucking Neon Zeus. Another part that sucks are these car chases, which also sucked in Second Son. You stand on a car and mash the R2 button until everything blows up, while enemies try to shoot the superpowered, nearly invulnerable Bringer of Death instead of the normal guy driving the car, or heaven forbid, the tires of the vehicle. I mean, they're not as fun as the normal bits of gameplay, but come on. Games need to have something to break the repetition of the core gameplay. And I'm sure you'd be pissed if all of a sudden you failed because the enemy shot out your tires and there was nothing you could have done about it. Why would the mission fail? Fetch is still alive. The guns in the truck are still intact. I'm still a remorseless neon-powered killing machine. So what changes other than the fact that the car doesn't move? If the enemies had a chance of shooting out the tires and forced me to find a new way to deliver the goods, I'd say that's pretty smart AI and some pretty dynamic gameplay. But no, instead you just stand on a car, shooting at other cars until they run out of cars to send your way. Honestly, if you don't wipe out all the occurrence by the end of the DLC, at least you'll have crippled them in terms of their transportation. One thing that we should probably go back and explain is that everything that happens in Seattle actually takes place 2 years ago. In the present timeline, Fetch is locked up in Curtain K and telling her story to Augustine. At various points in the story, we return to the present timeline where Augustine attempts to train Fetch in how to properly use her power. Basically, this means that in between the good stuff, you gotta play a bunch of stupid arcade games with practically no relevance to the plot. I mean, that's a pretty crappy way of looking at it. I found the challenges to be a lot of fun, and they were a great way to fully utilize Fetch's powers and also show off your skills thanks to the global leaderboard support. The problem is, if you want to get a high score, you're gonna need all the powers. In order to get all the powers, you're gonna need to play a whole bunch of the challenge mode. And by the time you get all the powers, you're gonna be so sick of the challenge mode that you're not gonna wanna bother trying to get a high score. You mean you're not gonna wanna bother. Oh, don't you even dare use the not all gamers argument on me. So that's pretty much all there is to Infamous First Light. Ultimately, I had a lot of fun with it. It's more Second Son, and in many ways, it's actually mechanically a better game than Second Son. I found Fetch to be a lot more fun to play as than Delsin, mainly because she doesn't need to change her power set to fit 4 different situations. It's alright. Infamous Second Son is still stupidly expensive, so this is a decent substitute until the price drops. So, my score for Infamous Second Son First Light is a solid 8 out of 10. And my score is a flaccid 5 I don't give a shits out of 10 who the hell cares. Alright, well, thanks for joining me, bitch. This was a lot of fun to do. And hopefully it was helpful for the viewers out there. Go fuck yourself. And please, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.